Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Final Fantasy VFX's video. Here we are talking about more Final Fantasy VII units. Biggs and Wedge, and Deus and Barrett, and of course, everyone's favorite Sephiroth. He'll be at the end. So, anyways, let's talk about Biggs and Wedge. Preemptive magic cover on a 5-star. Pretty good, right? 5 turns. Quite good, in fact. Spirit-based chaining, Stardust Ray, and Trust, which I have never really used, but I still like that they have it. It's good that they have it. 75% general mitigation for all allies, 50% magical mitigation for all allies, 70% aquatic and machine mitigation for all allies. Not bad. 50% defense, 100% spirit, true to wield. So obviously you can already know what they're going to be built towards. Tag chaining and the normal tag, that's the most useful thing in their whole kit. Not to knock off all the other stuff, but honestly, you guys have no idea. If you guys have been watching some of my JP videos, I use them for this combo attack all the time. So basically, give them Genji Glove. Do they need Genji Glove actually? No, do they? I mean, I don't remember if they do or not. I think I was confused with Xyle with the Genji Glove part. You don't need. I'm not sure if you need Genji Glove, but sure. But the lightning scarf is obviously very useful. So you can attack twice. So then they can attack 4 times as long as you're dual wielding. So that's why they're so useful, guys. You can build up a chain really fast. Give the proper instruction should actually be give them 2 element weapons. So what you usually would do is that you give them like a fire gun. There's a fire gun in the game that is free. So give them a fire gun, imbue them with some other element, whatever your finisher is worth doing, and then you build up the 300% chain faster, and then you can cap faster that way. So quite useful in that predicament. Mods are low. It really doesn't matter. No 5 times cap, doesn't matter. I can't really think of many cons for them other than those 2, but that really does not matter. So for those of you in the comment section saying things like that, it doesn't matter. Those 2 things on, because you're only using them to build up the cap and also to cover as your magic, because this is a roll compression unit, and it's so crazy that 7 stars with a lot of creativity can be really useful, right? Compared to all the SLBs that don't have very much variety or creativity in them at all, besides Medina, I guess. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them a 9 out of 10. Very useful, extremely useful. Not as useful as Jesse, but still useful. I have Biggs and Wedge almost to every one of my trial teams, and also Jesse 2 7 stars, by the way, 2 7 stars, and they're almost always in my team in some capacity. So if you didn't get Jesse, I recommend it. I definitely recommend it. If you want to know more about Jesse, go back check my other review with Tifa. But Biggs and Wedge definitely recommend. Hopefully you can get a few of them when you're going to be doing the Sephiroth pulls. I hope that you can at least get their 7 star. And if you didn't, I would recommend UOCing. You guys will just have to do it yourself. I can't describe it enough. Go watch my other videos, I guess. 9 out of 10 is very, very good score. Barrett, New Vision Awakened. Remember, guys, that he's not that old. If you think about it, guys, if you look at all the other New Vision Awakens in the game, and they're pretty old units that are getting New Vision Awakened and stuff like that. This guy is relatively new. He was in the Neo Vision era, so it was a little interesting that they gave him it and not Vincent or anyone else. Oh well. Anyways, infinite turns, always a good thing. 20% limit damage, 200% limit damage buff, 50% or 50 times permanent mod buff to overcharge. Not too bad. On his grandest, 100% human killer, 100% even killer, more attack percentage. Oh, that's the grandest, yeah. In his Brave Shift form, he has physical tank cover, 100% chance to cover. He's a physical tank. 100% chance to cover move, pretty good. 80% beast and machine mitigations on his grandest. 70% beast and machine mitigation for all allies. Both of those are for all allies, by the way. On an ability, and 70% on his little purse. Not too bad. And here's the catch. No 500% cap, so even if you have Lightning's S-Teamer on him, he still only has 500%. So you also need to have the crown eventually when you can get that to have 600%, which I guess is pretty positive on global. So I mean, yes, lightning zest tumor is not stackable, but this crown, you can use it. I mean, you could get him 600% cap. I don't think it's worth going through all those hoops just to make him 600% cap, but just saying that he doesn't have it. He doesn't have much utility in his brave shift form. Racial mitigations are very what's the word? It's not that useful in most cases, because like at this point in the game you don't really need to even worry about that kind of stuff. We're not in the 7-star and the 6-star era where you're turtling and then you're doing damage. You're just one-shotting stuff. I mean, and there's no new trials besides this flying squirrel that's coming up, by the way. Just so you guys, if you guys are wondering if there's any kind of mystery in a new trial, there'll be a whole new trial system, and there's no new trials besides Ammon in the normal trial area. So unless global somehow makes one, I really doubt that. There's no new trials, so why bother with this? Why even bother? Why even bother with this kit? I don't want to say he's garbage, because actually I kind of like him, and I made I did make a video on him recently, didn't I? Not recently, but a while ago. I'm not going to say he's garbage. He's actually going to get above average score of 7.5. He's not garbage. I just don't think he's just not a necessity. He's one of those New Vision Awakens that are unfortunate. He's just not that interesting or not that useful, but he's not terrible. By the way, I did test this out before making this video, because actually I forgot about this entirely. You need to use his Overcharge or Avalanche's Tactical Plan in his base form to get triple cast in his brave shift form. So he doesn't have any dual cast or triple cast in his brave shift form. You gotta work towards that. That's another weakness, because if you need physical cover right away, this guy is not going to be your best bet, because then he's just stuck with single cast. And I guess if you're okay with that, but you're not going to be able to use all those mitigations and stuff if you don't have any kind of dual cast or triple cast. So 7.5 for Barrett. And finally, the one that everybody wants to know about, Sephiroth. And Zest Teamer is close, so you don't have to worry about it stacking. Again, I'm gonna keep bringing that up. So here we are with Sephiroth's infinite turns, always a delight. Although in this case, you probably will just stay in his brave shift form, with one instance of why you would not want to do that, and I'll be telling that very shortly. 200% human killer, very good. 200% Reaper killer, also very good. Unfortunately, in most circumstances, you can't fight Ammon. Although I guess there is one way you can, but anyways. 500% cap, we'll be talking about that shortly. 200% TDH, we'll be talking about that shortly as well. 10% health recovery every turn, really nice. 150% low burst damage buff, like passive, I mean. EX2, look at the XT 60 LB still to start, and also 500 flat attack. I looked at that because Tifa got the same thing at EX2 on the global version, so why not have Sephiroth have the same thing? His 25% Katana and Peril. I'm assuming in the future these will be much higher, and they'll be power crept, because they can't have Sephiroth being on top forever, but he is on top for a long time. I'm assuming they'll be at 30% or 40% Katana and Peril eventually, or something like that ridiculous number as the game progresses. And here's the Brave Shift Olympus everyone wants to know about. 200 times finisher stacks, 150 times each, to 350 times. And leveling the Olympus costs it down, it reduces the cost, so you really need to level to max, which is 40. His Brave Shift form his base form, sorry, is just prep for the Brave Shift form, but you can start in BS as well if you want. Now, when we're talking about the grandest ability, I'm pretty sure he gets 2 uses technically, because there's 2. I don't remember this or not. If they're separate grandnesses or not, I can't remember right now. So I'm pretty sure he has 2 uses of his grandest. I'm pretty sure of that, but I could be wrong in this instance, usually because I'm usually in his brave shift form, so I don't really use his base form that much at all. So like I've been saying for the past few months, he needs Master of Fate and Indestructible Light. I didn't make this up, because he has 500% cap, so he needs Lightning Zest Teamer to have 600%, and also he needs Master of Fate because he has 200% TDH, and that gives him another 200%, which is the max of 400%. So if you ever get that crown, best in slot, If it's ever, when it's ever accessible in Clash of Wills to get that crown that has 100% chain cap increase, best in slot for Sephiroth. And then he can finally have 3 materia slots available. On the JP version, he is literally always glued to those 2 materias, so he only has 2 to go with. And you kind of have to work around it. It's basically you have to have a lot of stuff in order to make him super viable on the JP version. But on the global version, he'll have a little bit more wiggle room with that crown. I don't know when that's going to be accessible, when people are going to be able to finally get their hands on that. It's probably going to be a while, but when that happens, his score is going to go up. So for now, because he's watered down, he's bogged down with those requirement of having 2 materias, his score is going to go down a little bit. That's okay. So like I said in my Tifa video, basically Tifa is much easier to gear, but a little harder to finish with in a ratio form. But Sephiroth is the opposite, where he's extremely easy to finish with, but a little harder to gear. And what I mean by that, he's only has 2 materia slots available for free that he has freed up. Everything else is free, of course, including his chest slot, which you definitely want to have in that. And also make sure to get his katana. Even if you're a new player, make sure you get that katana. It's coming out very soon on the global version. It's best in slot for him, 50% low burst damage and 500 flat attack for him. Sure, the base attack is not the highest, but that doesn't matter because he gets 500 flat attack compared to other stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give him a 9 out of 10. Extremely strong finisher. So he'll become 9.5 out of 10 once you get your hands on that crown. But for now, 9 out of 10, extremely powerful finisher, long lasting along with Tifa. If you got either one of these during their banners being available, you're set for a long time. Now, I'm not saying that a global original finisher is not going to come along and, you know, theoretically, you know what, all over these units. I can't predict that. But what I can say is that on the JP version, even now, months and months and months after their release, they are still the #1 damage dealer. Ignore the spreadsheet saying that Orin is better, because Orin has to wait until turn 3 to use his finisher, whereas Sephiroth has already used his finisher several times. So single burst, it does not matter. It does not matter. Damage every turn is much more effective at seeing what a finisher could do. Like, okay, Orin is stronger on turn 3. What about turn 1 and 2? Where'd those go, right? So, with that being said, guys, Sephiroth is definitely worth going for. I'm sure you guys are all going to go for him anyways, but if you need this video to talk about your Lapis and your tickets, then go right ahead and justify that. It's double thumbs up for me to go for Sephiroth or go for Tifa, either one of those. Like I said, they're both of them are equally powerful, just one's a little harder to gear, one's a little easier to gear. One's harder to lone burst finish with, one's a little easier to lone burst finish. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you want to help support the channel, make sure you join the membership and clicking the join button. There are a lot of affordable options in there if you want to help support the channel. There'll be if I can get them. Well, first of all, tomorrow will be the polls for Sephiroth. If I can get them, Friday will be the how to gear him video. So if I can get them, that's the question. If I can get them. If I can't get them, unfortunate, it is what it is. Make sure you tune in to the polls on Thursday, and I'll see you then. Peace.